Well, for more, I'm joined on set by our senior international correspondent, Norris Trent. Catherine, we heard Noga there describing how Israel has expanded its attacks, notably to Iran's energy infrastructure. What consequences could that have?
It could be very significant indeed. And this is a new development. It started on Saturday. We know that there's been a couple of waves of attacks targeting energy infrastructure inside Iran. So the main gas depot in Tehran, its central oil refinery. And then earlier on Saturday, Israel launched attacks on parts of the South Pars gas field, which is one of, if not the largest gas fields in the world. So there are several consequences. Firstly, it could spark fears among the population. We're seeing big fires, obviously, when some of that fuel, those containers are exploding and massive fires breaking out. It could be very damaging for Iran's economy because the energy sector provides vital revenue, up to $80 billion a year from external sales. Obviously, Iran's economy is under heavy international sanctions from the West, so they need those revenues. It could also be interesting to watch in terms of the effect on global markets. The oil price is already rising. It could spike, especially if Iran does go ahead with threats to close the Strait of Hormuz, a very important strategic oil and gas shipping route, not only for Iranian exports, but also for exports from major oil producers, including Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, lots of it going to Europe and the West, 20% of the world's oil consumed going through that strait. So the energy sector could be vital. It's definitely one to watch. It's also interesting because it signals a widening out from Israel just targeting the nuclear sector or members of Iran's Revolutionary Guards. It could be a warning. They're saying, look, if you don't stop firing these barrages of missiles towards Israeli cities, we could come harder on your energy sector as well.
Well, as you say, the widening of this conflict raises the question of Israel's endgame here. I mean, what do they want to achieve? Is it just the nuclear program or is it regime change in Iran?
I mean, this is a big question because the Israeli military has said their objectives are on the nuclear sector. But when you look at the political side, especially what Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been saying, he's looking that like the wider endgame could be to try and spike regime change in Iran. Look, it's no secret that Israel and Iran are enemies, very deep foes. Israel has long wanted regime change in Iran. Could this be part of Netanyahu's bid to reshape the Middle East? I mean, I don't think that's beyond the realm of possibility in terms of Israel's ambitions. Netanyahu this weekend has used social media a lot, tweeting in Farsi, directly addressing the Iranian people, saying that we have paved the way for you to achieve your freedoms. I'm quoting there, and I'm also quoting here. This regime has never been so weak. He said, this is your opportunity to stand up and make your voices heard. So, yeah, they're hoping that they can take out another major enemy of Israel by weakening them militarily and trying to weaken the economy there and the energy sector as well.
And Catherine, obviously difficult for you to predict, but how realistic is that goal? I mean, do we have any sense of how Iranians are reacting to all of this?
Watching the public reaction in Iran is going to be key because the Iranian regime has been weakened by a whole series of events dating back the last couple of years. We have seen mass street protests, of course, dating back to the killing of Mahsa Amini and the women life freedom protest over the wearing of the hijab and the policing of that. So we know there is unrest inside Iran, which, I mean, if Mossad have been getting drone bases set up inside Iran, you can imagine they probably have agents working to try and foment some of that as well. Then on the geopolitical scene, you have major Iranian allies and proxies which have been dramatically weakened. This axis of resistance, as they call it. Hezbollah, severely damaged by the war with Israel there. Hamas, key leaders taken out there. We've got the Houthis in Yemen, but, Israel has been carrying out strikes against them, as had the US. They're weakened as well. The Assad regime in Syria, a major ally of Iran, that's fallen too. So it is severely weakened. I really don't know if it's possible at this point to predict whether, we can say that the regime will fall. It's a risk at the moment. It's something that is actually entering the playbook, and we're just going to need to wait to see how that plays out.
Yeah, lots to keep an eye on, Catherine. Thank you so much, as always, for your analysis. That's our senior international correspondent there, Catherine Norris Trent.